Okay, so here's one for you. Undoubtedly, you guys have heard the phrase, the honeymoon phase, right? And I understand what that means. But here's the interesting thing about that, is that traditionally, at least in my experience with certainly my relationships and others, you don't start off like, you know, planning your future together, that sort of thing. I mean, if you're infatuated and you go through that, I think we've all had one of those, but you know, for the most part, you know, you're together for a while. All right, let me just do this. Let me just describe the way Gracie and I are together. We met, we definitely clicked, and I was in love with her shortly thereafter. She got in love with me about 9 months in, she claims. And literally, like, since then we've been planning our future. Now sometimes that's only like the next year. Lately, of course, it's the rest of our lives, right? But so why am I talking about this? Because, you know, you guys have heard me joke around. Joe and I were joking around about it on Messenger this morning, about how, you know, I haven't seen, by the time I was able to hug Gracie this March 25th, after her being gone for, it was 378 days since the last time I hugged her. And not only did I label that as, this is never happening again, but I made the statement, okay, so for the next 379 days, we're gonna be on our honeymoon. Joe and I were joking around, going back and forth, like, oh yeah, well, you know, I think I'm gonna extend the honeymoon. It's gonna last till 2025. And of course, thank you for one-upping me. He said, I think you should extend it till 2030. And as I was on the motorbike and I was driving over here, I thought, you know, there's another phrase that many of you will not know. At least the way that I apply it. Anyway, it's called a pink cloud. And I first heard this phrase when I first got sober, and a lot of people would be like, oh my God, a lot of people that get sober, it's like, oh my God, I've stayed sober for 24 hours. Oh my God, I stayed sober for a week. Oh my God, I haven't had a drink in 30 days. That's the longest I've ever gone in 1, 2, 7, 9, 30 years, right? And so these are like quite miraculous for the individual if they're really embracing the fact that they've been able to not do something that arguably was ruining their lives. And whether that's, you know, the titration of alcohol or heroin or cocaine or whatever, there's that abstinence, right, that is just wildly, you feel wildly successful. And I can tell you that for me, yes, they label that, they say, well, you know, the pink cloud's gonna wear off, is what I hear guys with a lot of time saying. And of course, my response to that was, well, then you're doing it wrong, right? And I have not been on a pink cloud my whole recovery. And I don't think any of us have been on a pink cloud our entire lives. If you have, we need to hang out. But certainly for the last decade and a half, I've been pretty damn grateful. Anyway, my point is that there's this honeymoon phase and there's this pink cloud phase, and I'm sure there's other phases that people label initial, say, periods of time, that they label it that way such that, well, this will dissipate, this will go away. So to the point of us being on our honeymoon until 2030, I thought to myself, you know, why don't we just stay on our honeymoon? And, you know, I'm pretty certain we're gonna disagree about stuff. And, you know, and I'm gonna use the phrase, and she's gonna use the phrase, honey, I'm sorry, or whatever. But I don't believe that scenarios like that are gonna deplete from the honeymoon stage. Now, if the way that you define honeymoon is, oh my God, we're infatuated and, you know, we're like rabbits and we just can't get enough of each other. Okay, I mean, maybe when I was 20, but, you know, I'm 53, Gracie's gonna be 36, and so I would like to argue that while I may not act it, I'm pretty mature, and I think she is also, but we also love to, you know, fool around and be like kids, and, you know, and enjoy life to the fullest. And as you've seen enough of my videos, and certainly if you've seen the one when I was here when I didn't have to share it with another couple, dude, I'm pretty damn grateful pretty much most of the time. So anyway, so I'm here to basically commit to doing my part. And there's another topic I want to touch on. Many people say, well, it's about compromise and, you know, it's got to be 50-50, the relationship. No. It's 100-100, dude. I would submit to you that a lot of people that have gotten divorced look back and say, well, yeah, it was 50-50. But if you could look back and say, no, it was 100-100, in my experience, certainly with Gracie, it's 100-100. We're all in. I'm not gonna like veer off, and nor is she, you know. God, that's so, I made me just real grateful just then. I'm lucky, I'm blessed, I'm the luckiest guy in the world, guys. And so far, I'm batting 1,000 on every time I come to this beach. I cry out of just sheer joy. But this time I was smart. This time I put my sunglasses on. So you still think I'm cool. Anyway. Why should the honeymoon phase be over, I ask you? And for you, maybe there's a reason. For me, I'm gonna keep living in the honeymoon phase with Gracie. As we define our honeymoon phase, we're gonna keep living the honeymoon. And when I get to 2030, I'll revisit it with Joe and we could potentially end it there. But as far as I'm concerned, as of, I don't remember the exact day, but as of April of 2021, Gracie and I are officially on our honeymoon until 2030. How's that? You guys check back with me later, and I'll give you reports along the way. Hope you live in the dream. Ciao. Remember, that's where Mike's Beach starts. That's where Mike's Beach ends. Meaning, any of you guys that believe you're part of the cool kids table, and if you do, then that means you are. It means this is your beach too. So come on and hang out at the cool kids table and live the dream.